At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. It's been a pretty eventful week, I would say, up and down with our weather pattern. Got a little bit of rain, even a little bit of snow in the area, and it hasn't shaped up too bad, I would say, heading into our Friday and even getting into our weekend. So speaking about weekend, starting today, Cascade Christmas is already good for a go. If you haven't got your tickets, you still have time. If you can't go today, there are 6 shows, and we're looking forward this weekend from today to the 23rd for those shows, as well as the 28th to the 30th. If you have any chances to head out, it's going to be a nice weekend in store. May have to contend with a little bit of chilly conditions, but that's just setting up for our Christmas holiday ahead of our Thanksgiving holiday. But it is a cool start to the day. Getting you out the door, needing those layers may not be the best for some of us because we may have to contend with a little bit of some of that patchy fog and also a little bit of frost out there. So fog may impact some areas this morning, mainly areas for the south and the valley. And we'll take a look at that in our deep dive forecast, but it is a dense fog advisory for those locations. We get visibility down to less than a quarter of a mile. So keep that in mind in areas in Butte County as well as Glenn County. But it will warm up this afternoon into the weekend. We're looking at temperatures mainly almost 5 degrees warmer than what we've been feeling these last couple of days. And then along the coast, as we get into our Sunday and Monday, we get a little bit of clouds and also some drizzle, but not looking at really any impactful weather that will disrupt our day. Getting right into Aurora's quick cast, heading out for your Friday, November 21st. Man, this month has really flown by, or I've just been very busy. And if you've been busy like me, it has been a very quick month, but that's great. It's nice. You know, things start to move along for us, and moving along your morning, it is chilly for you heading out in Wairika, 27 degrees, Alturas, 32 degrees. So chilly conditions right at that freezing point. And again, areas in Trinity County, we're dealing with a frost advisory as you're stepping out this morning. So patchy frost may damage some of that sensitive vegetation. May have to check on some of your plants heading out. Along the valley, temperatures in those 40s, just about 43 degrees in Chico, 53 in Redding, and out the door across the area. A little bit cooler in some locations with those 30s, dealing with some patchy fog and frost in Trinity County and the valley, just about 48 degrees. So we'll see a little bit more sunshine getting out in areas near Redding and Red Bluff, but further in the valley south, dense fog advisory till about 10 o'clock this morning. Now along the coast, we'll see a little bit of those clouds waking us up. 45 degrees, Siskiyou County in those 30s, 27 degrees as you're heading out in Modoc County in the eastern mountains, just about 34 degrees. As you're heading out this morning, just remember those jackets and possibly even those sunglasses, because we are going to get more sunshine for us today. Taking a look at our satellite, within the last 12 hours, we haven't really seen that much going on for our region. A little bit of action further off towards Southern California. They're getting more of that rain out there, but we're going to stay relatively dry getting into your weekend. So looking at our futurecast, mainly clouds have pushed off towards the east. We'll see a few out there, but I think we're going to get lots of sunshine. So it's a perfect day to head out, maybe go for those walks, check out some of the locations. Maybe some decorations are already going up, or any last minute shopping you may have. It looks like today is going to be fairly nice, even heading into the evening, right when the sun sets around 5 o'clock, 5:30ish. It'll be a nice sunset for all of us across the region. Now, those clouds really laying off, marine layer not as thick as it has been these last couple of days, but it will get a little bit breezy heading overnight into the morning hours. But mostly today, we're looking at temperatures in those mid to upper 50s along the coast, mid to upper 50s in Trinity County. So starting off on the chilly side, we do have that frost advisory till about 10 o'clock this morning. But then we got 60s in the valley and the eastern mountains, temperatures reaching into the 50s. Lassen Park, just about 38 degrees. So setting up fairly nice as you're heading into your Friday. And even into tonight, if you have any plans heading out, maybe any dinner plans, going out to the movies. We have a couple of movies in store. If you're planning on seeing, I think Wicked comes out today. Don't quote me, but if you're a big fan, there's been a lot of things going on with Wicked heading into this weekend. So very busy weekend ahead. Lassen Park, 31 degrees tonight as you're stepping out, 33 degrees in Mount Shasta, along the coast in the 40s. So again, today setting up fairly nice for us with lots of sunshine. Just have to contend with those normal temperatures as we're heading into the season, getting a little chilly at night and overnight into the morning. Looking at your 7-day outlook, we're going to get you out for your weekend. Upper 60s for us here in Redding, and temperatures on Sunday getting a little bit cooler in the low 60s, but sticking with that pattern into next week, and then a little bit of clouds trying to build in as we get into Wednesday and Thursday for your holiday week. In Red Bluff as well, and also in Chico, temperatures reaching into those mid 60s, and we got those low 60s continuing into next week. Looking at our 7-day outlook along the coast. Again, I mentioned drizzle happening. We're not looking at any washouts, maybe even light rain possible as you head into your Sunday. But before that, today, tomorrow, mainly clear conditions as you're heading out along the coast, continuing with a little bit of a small craft advisory. And you do want to stay off those jetties today. Hazardous beach conditions. So holiday weekend, you may have family coming in. Just keep that in mind as you're along the coast. Drizzle, maybe for your Monday morning. Chances of rain, we're keeping an eye on that for your Wednesday and Thursday, but not a big washout. Inland as well, a little bit of drizzle in some locations further along areas closer to the coast. And then we're going to feel those temperatures stay in the 60s with chances of some light showers heading into your Tuesday and Wednesday, as well as in Weaverville. A little bit warmer for us as we head into tomorrow and sticking into the 50s next week. Your 7-day outlook, Mount Shasta is going to be a very chilly start, below freezing. We got 28s and even 30s heading into the morning hours for today, tomorrow, and also into your Sunday. So early morning walks on the chilly side, but mid 50s as you're heading into your afternoon and your weekend. Chances for rain, they are not there for us in Alturas as well as Susanville. Again, those chances, slight chances, heading into Wednesday and Thursday next week. So relatively dry heading out today into your weekend. Things are shaping up fairly nicely. Not really looking at, again, any major impactful weather. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the views across the area. Lake Oroville, we're seeing some of those winds pick up, a little breezy starting off your morning. Again, we're going to contend with some breezy conditions for the morning. It starts to calm down as we get into the afternoon. We do start to see somebody out there, a couple of people on Main Street in Chico heading out this morning. We are going to notice temperatures again on the cooler side, but we start to get a little bit warmer. So you may have to turn on those heaters for your cars heading out if you do get fairly cold. Looking at Highway 99 at Neal Road, a little bit more action going on from the last hour. So everyone heading out, moving and grooving this morning, heading throughout their morning commute. Again, if you're heading further south out of the area, through Butte County, as well as areas in Glenn County, you can run into some patchy dense fog. Looking at Highway 44, Sundial Bridge, temperatures still fairly on the cool side again, but traffic flowing fairly well. We're not seeing any wet conditions, so that is great heading out for your Friday commute. Bald Hill West, a little bit of those clouds in our vision as you're stepping out this morning. And then we'll also contend with some sunshine heading out into the afternoon. Very beautiful view at Soda Ridge. Starting to get that sunrise, really heading out this morning, and seeing a lot of that for us today. So setting up fairly nicely for us all. Now, as you're stepping out, you may even notice those clouds in some locations. It'll start to recede into your afternoon near Fort Jones, but this is a beautiful view. I mean, it just looks like it's just picture perfect right now. I can literally take a screenshot and put it on my wall right behind me because that is a pretty nice view. As well as Lassen Park, we got a little competition going on with these camera views heading out this Friday morning. That bench, I've been looking at that bench. That's how I kind of tell, has it snowed, has things melted? Looking at things that we may sit on or kind of take point of reference. And since the last snow that has came through with that system, it added on, because last time I looked, it was a little bit on the melty side, but it has accumulated a little bit more. So great conditions out there in Lassen Park. Again, just chilly as you're heading out. We are going to go ahead and enjoy this Pet of the Week segment sponsored by Grange Co-op, and we will be right back in just a bit right after this.
I'm Katrina from Haven, and this silly wiggly girl is Macy. She is our pet of the week. She is a 3-year-old pit lab mix, just under 50 pounds, and no shortage in personality, as we say. She is super playful. She is super sweet. We know Macy is going to make an incredible family dog. She is super happy to meet everybody. She loves affection, loves crawling into your lap at any chance she gets. We haven't really found any toys that she's very into, but that's okay because as long as she has someone to hang out with, she is happy as can be. She loves any and all treats, and she's been doing amazing at learning how to sit and how to walk on a leash. When she first came to us, she really didn't know anything, so we're really impressed in all the progress she's made with us. Aside from how adorable and wonderful she is with people, she's also been fantastic with other dogs, and we think she would do great with a doggy playmate in her home. So if you're interested in adopting Macy, go ahead and come on down to Haven Humane or give us a call at 530-241-1653.
Well, welcome back, everyone. That was a great little pet of the week. And I would say that always gets me, just seeing the happy animals out there. And if you are a pet lover, I hope you enjoyed that for your Friday. Now, heading out the door again, it's going to be chilly out there, but this wouldn't be made possible by instead we wouldn't have all of this possible if we didn't have Wind River Casino Resort and Casino as one of our sponsors. So at Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So visit windriver.com. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna say it 8 times fast today. And by next week, we are going to be good for a go. Thank you, Wind River Resort and Casino, for all that you do in making this possible. Now, heading out the door again, jumping right into our headlines. It is going to be a cool start to your day. Patchy frost is possible. Fog may impact some of us in Butte County as well as Glenn County with a dense fog advisory. Now, that does expire at just around 10 o'clock this morning. Visibility can drop to about a quarter of a mile. And that patchy frost, we do have those chances in Trinity County till about 10 o'clock this morning. We have a frost advisory. Most of us, though, waking up just cool, and we're going to warm up heading into the afternoon. and your weekend is setting up fairly nicely. But we do have chances for some drizzle along the coast. Not really looking at major rain chances, but they are still there as far as drizzle is concerned. And we'll take a look at that with our deep dive forecast coming up in just a bit. But first, a word from our sponsor, Shasta Hearing Aids.
Frank, come help with the dishes.
What?
The dishes!
I heard it the first time. I just got back from Shasta Hearing Aids, but she doesn't know it yet. What?
Forget it.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. And we're ready to take a deep dive into our forecast. And you know what? It has really been up and down, I would say, as far as rain and snow goes, but fog, that's what we're left with after all of these conditions moving in, leaving us with cooler temperatures and even some moisture. So we do get a little bit of dense fog this morning in areas just near Butte County as well as in Glenn County. Now that dense fog advisory, it does expire at just around 10 o'clock this morning. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look at that. If you are traveling in areas heading off towards the south in Butte County through Chico, remember, not all of us will really run into any dense fog. And that's the tricky part about dense fog advisories, because you could be traveling and things can be fairly clear. Then all of a sudden you run into a patch of dense fog, and that can become hazardous to your travel. And it's looking like visibility could drop down to less than a quarter of a mile. So take it slow, plan ahead as you're traveling now for your Friday. I know we're excited to head into the weekend, as well as areas here in Glenn County. Now this all does expire at just around 10 o'clock this morning. So you may step out and say, Aurora, where's the fog? Now it may be a little bit clear. Now this does expire again at 10 o'clock this morning. So it may not be here right now, but it could pop up in your area in probably about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It does happen fairly quickly. So heading further to the south, things look like we're still contending with a little bit more of that dense fog advisory. So if that is in your morning commute, please keep that in mind. I know some might say it's just fog, but fog can cause some hazardous conditions on the road, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't tell you that. So please give yourself enough space between you and your other drivers and neighbors, and watch out for those pedestrians and those kiddos heading off to school this morning in those areas as well. Speaking up for kiddos, it's going to be a little chilly heading out in Trinity County. It's going to be on the cooler side. Now, temperatures in the low 30s, patchy frost continuous, so cover up those nose, toes, and fingers heading out in areas across Trinity County, Hayfork, Burnt Ranch, also in Weaverville. We do have this frost advisory till about 10 o'clock this morning as well. So your morning commute may be a little busy out there for some of us. If you're traveling along 36, you could run into some patchy fog as long with that frost advisory, and then also heading on areas on 299 and on Highway 3. So keep in mind patchy fog, even some frost throughout your morning commute. As far as temperatures go across the area, it is on the cool side for most of us, and we're going to feel them generally in the 30s in some locations, even in the 40s. So where we have that frost advisory, 43 degrees heading out in some locations near Hayfork, but where you see a little bit more of those deeper blues, we could get into those lower 30s. So don't be fooled by what you see. I'm telling you what you may feel. 44 degrees in Weaverville. Again, some locations could drop into those low 30s. Mount Shasta, 29 degrees. Definitely stepping out on the cooler side. In the valley, Redding, 54 degrees. So a little bit warmer heading out for everyone. Now further south into Butte County as well as Glenn, that's where we could have that dense fog advisory. Temperatures in those mid to upper 40s, and along the coast. Alturas, 28 degrees as you're stepping out the door. Now, as far as sunshine goes, that's going to be our word for the day. Sun, sun, sun. I know we've been talking about fog and cooler conditions heading out, but today for your Friday, grab those sunglasses, maybe pick up a new pair. It is shaping up to be fairly sunny for us. We're dealing with temperatures nice too for our Friday. Not really seeing that many clouds as you're heading throughout your day. Even along the coast, we're not really contending with a lot of clouds along the coast throughout the day. May see some return into the evening, but a beautiful sunset is in store. But remember, as you're heading out in areas just take your time overnight into tomorrow morning, because we can get a little bit of that patchy fog returning with some of those clouds returning as well. So again, today, lots of sunshine is in store for us. We'll still have some sun tomorrow and even into your Sunday, but notice clouds start to build in as we get into Sunday morning. We may have a little bit more of those cloud cover along the coast, and then that's when we get the chance for some drizzle. So I'm going to show you, we're not going to get a large system moving in, but the tail end of a system that is further off into Oregon, as well as into Washington, we are going to notice that we're going to get a little bit of that action. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. And that little bit is some drizzle, some light rain, but we'll start to get some clouds building in as you head into your Sunday late afternoon into your evening. Now that is going to allow for us to even have some of that fog linger around with some of the moisture moving in overnight Sunday into your Monday. So waking up to patchy fog again as you head into your Monday to go ahead and start your holiday week, but not really looking at too much as far as impactful weather. Just heading that impactful as far as patchy fog contends. Now long range into your holiday week, we're noticing a little bit of a system moving in into Tuesday. Travel plans, if you're heading out and maybe you're traveling north, they will get more rain, even some high elevation snow in areas near Portland and also in Seattle. So that's for Tuesday. If you're heading out before Thursday, before Thanksgiving, just keep in mind if you're driving, have any flights, things could get delayed as you're heading through your Wednesday, even into Thursday. Now, the system will bring us some more cloud cover. We could get a little bit of a drizzle with it, but we're not looking at a complete washout. Excuse me. This is your Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Another system moving in, and we'll possibly get a little bit of a clipping of the tail end, kind of similar to what we may see heading into Sunday and into your Monday. As far as marine alerts along the coast and along the coastal areas across California, we do have that small craft advisory. So heading out with any, excuse me, boatings. I'm going to take a sip of water. Excuse me, sorry. You may hear my cat. She hears me coughing and she comes. So I'm still getting over the cold. We're drinking lots of tea with honey, but here we are. Okay, along the coast are marine alerts, small craft advisory. I just want to point that out because we'll start to get visitors in areas that they may not even be normal to. So this is for the visitors coming along the coast. If they have any plans, I would say kayaking or heading out surfing or trying to get into the waves, we will have some nice swells out there, but that does make for some hazardous conditions. Pretty along the jetties, but not advised to head out there, especially when we have those small craft advisories for today, even headed into Saturday, as well as those swells getting pretty high. So if you have any visitors, family members coming in, just go ahead and tell them. I know we all take care of family, so I'm pretty sure you're spreading the news, because along the beach, along the coast, it could be really nice and mesmerizing. But we do have those high wave heights heading into the area late tonight. Hazardous beach conditions for small craft advisories. No surfing, no jetties, not getting on the jetties out there. Even headed into your Saturday, our wave heights get pretty high for us. So we do have that small craft advisory heading into today, even heading into tomorrow. Sunset, 4:54. It's going to be a great sunset tonight because we're not going to have that many clouds. So beautiful conditions if you want to go ahead and head out towards the coast. And just keep in mind, stay off the jetties. High tide coming in at around 11:46 this evening. Low tide just about 5:40. It did arrive this morning. So we saw it starting to build in. Wave heights, just about 13 feet every 14 seconds, but they could get a little bit higher, between 18 to 20, and then our winds fairly breezy along the coast for us. So heading into our neighborhood forecast, sponsored by Dignity Health, we are traveling across the neighborhoods, and it is going to be a nice travel today. Lots of sunshine. So if you want to take a drive across the whole Northern California, it looks like it's going to be nice. May get there by sunset though, but you'll see a nice one across the region. 60s for our highs in Burt Ranch. We have 58 degrees heading out in Weaverville. 60s setting up for tomorrow. So a little bit warmer for our Saturday, and then more clouds building in Wednesday and Thursday. Keeping an eye out on anything that may impact your holiday travel. But as of right now, nothing too impactful. You may just get a little drizzle or two heading into your Wednesday. Looking at Hayfork, temperatures today in the upper 50s, low 60s into our Saturday, 57 degrees on Sunday. Overnight, we're dropping into those 30s, so that's when it's going to get cooler and waking up to those chilly mornings again. So that is where we're bundling up, but then we start to get those nice conditions as we get into the afternoon. Redway, temperatures today in those low 60s, and then we start to feel temperatures drop slightly as we get into Sunday. Not a drastic drop, but into the upper 50s for us heading into next week. Ferndale, 57 degrees. We'll see a little bit of some patchy fog this morning. Fortuna, 57, and then that's where we can see a little bit more of that drizzle Sunday into Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, we start to get those slight chances of rain. Not looking at a complete washout, not really looking at any large accumulations of what we have seen, but those chances are still there. Heading up across the area near Hoopa, temperatures in those 60s for us today into the week, and we got this chance for drizzle Sunday into Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, those chances for a pop-up light shower or two. Winds along the coast generally calm, but we will start to get a little breezy, maybe 20-25 per hour gust, and then heading out in McKinleyville, temperatures in those mid to upper 50s. Willow Creek, 62 degrees. New Orleans, areas in New Orleans, 61, 10 miles per hour along the coast as we head further up north. Smith River, just about 65 degrees. And then again, some of that drizzle chances Sunday into Monday in Crescent City, and slight chances of a pop-up light shower. Siskiyou County and Wairika, temperatures in the 50s, winds fairly calm for you all out there. This weekend shaping up in those low 50s, and then we do have again the slight chances heading into Tuesday and Wednesday for a light shower. Not completely going to mess up your holidays, your holiday travel, but remember, overnight temperatures will drop, so check on those heaters, check on your pets, plants, everything that matters to you to make sure as we drop into those lower temperatures into the upper 20s and low 30s. Scott Valley, temperatures warming up really nice into your weekend, and then we do have those chances Tuesday, Wednesday, but more cloud cover than not far as any rain chances. Not looking at a washout for us. Mount Shasta, temperatures overnight into the morning in those 30s, mid to upper 50s getting into your Saturday, Sunday. And if you're heading out to Mount Shasta, we haven't got a lot of snow, but we're looking at still some nice conditions. Weed, 48 degrees for the high today. Indoors, just around 47 degrees. So you do have to layer up once you're heading out. Modoc County and Alturas, chillier this morning in those 20s, 50s. We're looking at a little bit warmer conditions for this week in those mid 50s. We can give you about almost low 60s in some locations, but most of it's generally in those mid 50s. And then heading into next week, those slight chances are there. Not major chances, but slight chances as you're heading out for your Wednesday and even into your Thursday. Looking at Eastern Mountains, temperatures this morning, chilly in those 20s, and then we're going to warm up nicely into the low 50s, mid 50s, and Shingleton, just about 56 degrees for the highs. Bernie, 53 degrees with 50s on the way this weekend. Looking at temperatures in Summit Lake, just about 38 degrees, and then just in areas near Chester, 50 degrees. Laston Park in the mid 30s, upper 30s, so chillier today, warming up into the mid 40s as we get into this weekend. Chester area in the 50s, so slightly warmer, but it is going to be a chilly start to the day in Laston Park. Taking a look in the Eastern Mountains in Paradise and Susanville, Paradise 60s heading out today, 59 degrees into your Saturday and into your Sunday. Susanville upper 40s and 50s into the weekend. Overnight temperatures late night in those 20s and 30s. And heading out in the Valley South, temperatures in Oroville mid to upper 60s, 60s continuing with lots of sunshine in store for our weekend. So Chico area, 65 degrees. Again, we do have that dense fog advisory till about 10 o'clock this morning. And as we get into the afternoon, lots of sunshine in store into your weekend with low 60s and 60s continuing into the holiday week. A little bit more clouds building in Wednesday, Thursday, and into the Valley North near Red Bluff, 60s today for our high. Winds fairly on the calm side and just about 65 degrees your Saturday. Low 60s into next week, but shaping up really nice, right in one of the warmer areas Upper 60s for us today, just about 66 degrees, and 67 degrees heading into tomorrow. So Saturday will be one of the warmer days as you're heading out. And then into Sunday, things are still fairly on the warm side with lots of sunshine, and we start to get those clouds building in as we get into next week. So keeping an eye on your holiday travel, but as of right now, everything looks pretty nice. Taking a look at Solar Ridge, that sun coming up a little bit more. We're starting to see it peak just in the little portions that you see on the left side of the screen, and it is setting up to be a nice sunny Friday over there. Looking ahead into some areas for us across the region, Fort Jones, a beautiful image right there. We're starting to get that sunrise setting up, and we're going to continue to see some pretty nice conditions today. So I'm going to go ahead and just let you see all of the images across the region. I hope everyone has had a great start to your Friday, and we have a great weekend in store, and I will see you all on Monday.